Alright, so this is just going to be a quick world tour. I say quick, it's probably going to take like 20 minutes, but yeah. So, other direction. It's going to take a second probably to load. Alright, so this is actually the world spawn, like this spot right here. I made this world in 2020. Actually, before the pandemic, I think I was unemployed for a little bit, or I honestly don't remember, but yeah. So I'm working on this mess right here. I gotta make some books and type in some stuff. Not that anybody's ever gonna read it except for me and Chris. So me and my roommate, we started this world in 2020. I say we. I started this world, and shortly after, I just became obsessed. There was nothing here when I started the world. A lot of this was actually built rather recently. The opening area is mostly a zoo. I originally had a zoo in my main town that I'll get to in a little bit, but it was getting kind of overcrowded with all the villagers and everything. It's basically just a bunch of little habitats for all the mobs that I've had to go thousands of blocks out to grab and bring back. Before the Chase the Skies, I'd have to, use the nether or just do whatever it took to get them here. Obviously, the normal mobs aren't that hard. Where'd all my chickens go? Huh, that's odd. But yeah. I still haven't even finished most of them. So, coming along this way, here's where the pandas originally were, but I decided to make botanical gardens of sorts. You know what, it might be easier if I just... You can kind of see. I'm slowly but surely working on it. I'm going to have all the overworld biomes in one area, with their related trees and... Oh lordy, there's no telling where that came from. But yeah, I have every biome with the related plants and stuff. Over here, down in that hole, I'm going to have like the underground biomes. I still got to excavate a lot of it out. Going back, I'm sure you can already see it over there. I've got a big old town. So here's a map of most of what I've built. Well, me and my roommate have built, mostly me. This town right here, I call it Seaside Hill, because it's a big hill right next to the sea. This is Glimmer. It's the swamp town. It's the very first town I ever made. My first base is still standing there. You can very much tell that it's the first thing I built, like a first base. This town's actually really cool. So, got a cart and buggy, or whatever you want to call it. Not cart and buggy, but like a cart thing. I found like a tutorial on how to build it. This town's heavily fortified. This is one of the many temples that I've built. They're all very similar. I feel like this world has some sort of lore to it that I don't even know. But, yeah. So, this is Seaside Hill. It's not completely finished, but I think this was the last major project. Ignore that. Last major project that I was working on before just getting a little too overwhelmed with life. I don't have to go through the whole thing. I just wanted to get around to the corner. Well, before I do that, actually, let me go up here real quick. Like I said, it's not completely finished. Like, this one doesn't have any, like, the front of the houses haven't been finished, and a lot of them just aren't furnished. But yeah, as you go up here, this is like the town square, the very center. This is actually my roommate's idea, but he like blocked it out and then never did anything with it, so I just kind of took charge of it on my own. One really cool thing is that this area was completely flat when we built it, and so underneath us is a bunch of filler blocks. However, not all of it was emptied out, and there's a secret underground tunnel system. And if you look in this chest, right, left, it's sort of like a secret hidden passage. I actually plan on redoing some of this with a lot darker lighting, like with the new copper torches that just came out today. So, as you can see, it's sort of like a maze, but it's sort of Zelda inspired in that when you get to the very center, it's like a fairy fountain of sorts. Yeah, unfortunately there's nothing down here. I thought about trying to get an allay down here just to make it look pretty, but, you know, to have a fairy floating in the pond. But one really cool thing, which unfortunately only works one way, is that I have a secret passage in one of the houses to get in here. And this used to work, but for some reason it doesn't anymore. Alright. So, like I said, that is this town. And I think I was going through a small Skyrim kick when I kind of got bored with this part. So, you know what, let's just make this faster. This is my roommate's doing. He wanted gigantic fields outside of the town. But, ow. Whatever. If you go through here, this is what I call like the Whiterun area. Because, you know, you have the Gildergreen, which that thing was a mess to make because they don't grow in 2x2s. Most of these houses actually are furnished. Actually, I think all of them are. Yeah, just small houses. This is where I started to really get into, like, trying to figure out how to build things that look good and not just boxes. This is like a church. The Church of Hey. My roommate did build that balloon over there. Let's see. There's not a whole lot going on over here. Some of these, like, I haven't finished all of this. I want this path to lead out. And, you know, I was kind of thinking of maybe getting rid of all the sand and making like a harbor area, but talking about that, we do have a harbor over here. My roommate actually just built this ship. He found a schematic of the shipwreck, the complete one, and then just made it. He actually built this wall and this little boardwalk area. I built the dumb duck. I love it. But yeah, I'm actually kind of glad it's turning nighttime because honestly the new Vibrant visuals have a lot of really cool effects at night. This little area was actually inspired by the pot room in Ocarina of Time right when you go into Castletown. Alright, so going up this way I have my little Sonic Elytra course. Woo! We'll just kind of go through all of this. Never mind. Go down here. Everything is well lit from spawn all the way over to the desert town, which I call Black and White Village. So this one is called Glimmer. So you have Seaside Hill over there, you have Glimmer over here. This is my roommate's base. He's got a gigantic hole in the ground underneath it that almost goes to bedrock. He did have it down to bedrock. Oh yeah, here are our kitties. We've got Curio and Midna. Yeah, but this is just his base. We'll try to do this quick because I could be here all day going through his stuff. This is his storage room, which is kind of compact. He's got an auto smelter, and then this just goes on forever and ever and ever. And if you look, he's got some mob farms on some of these levels. He doesn't really know what to do with a lot of the stuff here, like all this room. I told him he needs to like change the walls up, make them pretty, and then he can have like a multi-level gigantic base that looks tiny from the top. But yeah, you get the point. Sorry, I'm reading a text. But yeah. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Sorry. My computer only has a 3060, and I think it's only got like 16 gigs of RAM. I don't remember what processor it has. It's some AMD processor, I think. It's a couple years old. But yeah, so Glimmer is kind of a mishmash of different, like, styles, because this is the first town that I made. My friend actually helped me gather some villagers when I was very new to the game and had no idea what I was doing. This is my first base. It's a historical monument, so even though it's just basically a big box, you're not supposed to, it's not going to get torn down. I wanted to, but my roommate is adamant that I have to keep it here. That's just some of his farms. He built like a lighthouse. Then there's Secret. This was my mine for the longest time, but now it's just kind of abandoned. Let's see, what else? I've got a big beacon out there for running because I got tired of how slow it was moving around here. This is the museum. The current museum. We're planning on building like a really big one, but it's going to take a lot of quartz. But yeah, a lot of this is my roommate's doing. I originally had like a small museum, and then he kind of expanded it and made it look a lot better. This is a library. There's not really a whole lot going on in here. It's just a bunch of bookcases, but we do have a world map which is very, very out of date. This is the known world right now. All the green markers are villages or landmarks of importance. You can see I have a mushroom biome up there to the north. We've also got two towns out in the boonies, a lot of blocks away. These are relative, and these are fully zoomed out maps, so you can guess how many blocks away they are. We have a nether hub for traversal. And then, oh yeah, the town we're going to next is going to, this is what it looked like originally. It was very tiny, and that's where I made my not second base, technically third base, because this building was my second base, and as you can tell, it's honestly not much better than that one. Go over here, there's the general store that my roommate made for the town. Come over here, there's a concrete factory if we need to make concrete, although now I just tower up and pour a bucket of water over it and mine straight down. I built him this mushroom enchanting tower which, yeah. And this used to be my original storage warehouse for all my blocks and stuff like that, but then the villagers just kind of took over, so I gave up on that. Hopefully that doesn't show up. I hate how loud the Minecraft music gets for no reason, especially in the swamp towns. It just makes no sense. So underneath us, you can see there's a rail line. I'm not going to do all that right now. That's too much work when I can just fly. So, oh wow, that's pretty. So this is Pt.1. I've got a lion statue up there. There used to be a tower, but it was so badly made, it looked ugly, so I tore it down. So, beneath us, if we can see, I doubt we can, I've got a homemade coral reef, and there's a lot of fish that I captured and brought here from a different tropical fish biome. There we go. We've got a little loading dock platform for the town, and another pot room because, you know, you gotta have a bunch of those. This is part of the rail line that leads between the overworld areas if we need to, like, just transport one mob. Let me get over here and see if I can do a better job of, yeah. I built this windmill not too long ago. I found like a small diagram of at least how to do the windmill part. The actual building, I just kind of took some liberties. This is another one of the shrines. You can't really tell, but there is water in here. Did I even look up? Yeah, it's another temple. Let's go back and go through the open area. Also, there's floating candles everywhere, sort of like Hogwarts style. So this is my main town. This is the thing that I worked on the hardest for the longest time. So there's a well. There's, you know, it's just a town. I recently renovated some of these houses to make them look less blocky and actually have roofs that weren't flat on all sides. We'll come back around here in a second because I've got some stuff to show. Here's this town's, hello, thank you, church. Really? Right, there we go. Let's ignore that mess. I have another tower, sort of the central hub of the town, with one of the beacons. There's multiple beacons. There's two up there. There's one right here. There's another one over there. We've got my little carnival game stand, sort of the Happy Mass Salesman sort of style thing. There is a geode that I have excavated and left all the budding amethyst down there, so I can go get as much amethyst as I need. I've got my crazy aquarium. Some of the stuff was easy to get in here. The turtles were not. The squid definitely was not. For some reason, the glow squids did not live. I don't know whatever happened to them, even though I name tagged them. This area is sort of just like a general hub area, you know, where the vendors sell stuff. Oh yeah, I just made him today. Hey friend. It was like a little house in the side of the wall. I didn't really do a whole lot to it. This is also just more villager housing. It's not really anything impressive. We've got the pottery shop where you can come, and I've got all the sherds. I don't think there are any more sherds that I'm missing. I think I have all of them now. But yeah, just in general. We've got a weapons shop. They give out decent stuff. You can always just disenchant them, so I don't have to worry about, you know, creating new items if for some reason something happened to all of mine. Just general area. I still need to move this to the zoo. It's where all my parrots are. I think I have one of every color still. These guys are staying here forever. I'm not ever moving bunnies again. They're the world's worst thing to have to deal with in this game. I've got my axolotl enclosure, which also needs to be moved, but I'm keeping them for now. I still don't have the mudkip colored one, because it's a very rare chance. I think it's like 1 in 1,000, 1 in 1,200, something like that. We've got Stew for You, a little shop. The shopkeeper doesn't like to stay in there. A good defense. They sell armor. And then this was supposed to have a fisherman in it, but he somehow escaped or died. I'm not entirely sure. The panda enclosure. I did have a brown panda, actually multiple brown pandas, but they're dumb and they ended up dying. Got my little tavern right here. Upstairs there's like a little bed area. I didn't give it a name. Oh, Pianta Pint. I forgot I named it that. We'll go up to the castle in a minute. I've just got a house. I've got like a potion shop. The potion seller will not give you his strongest potions, unfortunately. And then we've got the sheep wool factory. One of every color. It's completely automated. There's a minecart down there. And I think I have it turned off right now just because I had so much wool at some point and I didn't need any more. But yeah, it's basic redstone. It's nothing crazy. But yeah, you have an area where you can go in and, you know, fix stuff if you need to. Lordy. Well, that's ominous. Let's go up the hill real quick to the castle. This was my base for the longest time. Hold up. This was a basement area that was blocked off, but now it's just open. I've got the tiers of armor, even though netherite's not in there. I've got something very dangerous. I've got one of my dragon eggs. I actually have 2, I think, or maybe 3, because sometimes when the game updates, like a major version update, the dragon egg will spawn again when you defeat the dragon. I don't know why. It's bedrock. It just happens. Let's see. Okay, now that we've done that, let's just skip going up the hard way. Let's just go up this way. I say hard way as I do it, make it more difficult than it needs to be. This is actually how I used to get up here. Anywho, so this was my base for the longest time. Now it's in that big old mountain over there. Not too much crazy. This was where my room was. It was like 2-story tiered. This was where I was like it was like a trophy room and also a brewing area and all my furnaces and like special items. Oh hey Jake the dog. I even had like a kitchen down here specifically to make like food and stuff. I feel like it's pretty obvious that my building style got more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Definitely became, it started forming around the time I moved to this base, and then I've got my forbidden blocks, things you're not supposed to have. Completely in survival. I can still get achievements on this world, so upstairs is pretty interesting. I can get out. This was my other main bedroom, which still, I'm not going to ask where that went. This was originally supposed to be like a bridge that connected over there, but then I decided against doing that. This was also part, like, a different trophy room with all the mob heads and armor stands. Yeah, not a whole lot. Around the back side, though, there's a trash can, which I've gotten trapped in multiple times. That's why it's a cauldron now and not just a block of lava. Come around here, we've got my hedge maze. This is eventually going to get moved. This is currently, I think, every flower except for, I think, the couple of new ones. Yeah, there's a couple new ones that were released with the Chase the Skies, and yeah, they're not in here yet. I have collected them, I just haven't came in here and reorganized yet. Lordy. So, back here is my gay rainbow bridge to the Shrine of Cats. Unfortunately, they don't make glass stairs. This was just kind of an experiment. I also made a floating island. Like, this was not here. I haven't done anything with it yet. I have some cool, like, patterns on the ground. It's basically just big old empty rooms. I'm not really sure what to do with it. But when you come upstairs, my roommate built all this on the top because it was just flat and I was going to like add on to it or something. But yeah, he ended up making a bunch of these cute cats and a giant sphinx cat. The best part is if you go around to the back, they all got little booty holes. It's adorable. So, now we're done with that. Let's fly over here. That's where my lava chicken factory was because I'd made that long before the Minecraft movie. It's just one of the most inexpensive, easy redstone things to do. This is the Temple of the Allays, which... Oh, no. What? Excuse me. That was mine. Yeah, it just kind of goes all the way up. It's just a huge tower I built one day, just trying to make something pretty. Oh yeah, there's my happy ghast. I forgot I chained him up there. This is sort of a map room. Like I said, the world has some sort of lore. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Yeah, not a whole lot going on in here. There is, if I don't end up killing myself, a cool secret area up here with a like sword chamber. I don't know. I was just kind of spitballing. We got a giant statue over here that when you kind of look, if you look in the direction of the sign, it has the name of the town. Obviously, there's nothing in that direction yet. You know, what's funny is that whenever I started this world and we built these towns, they felt so far apart, and then now looking at it, they're so close together. Then again, I didn't have an elytra or rockets, or, you know, we didn't have a rail line, or we had a nether hub, but it was frustrating. This is just another little biome for the striders. I guess I should go to my base next since I'm already on the way. But first, I've got like a goddess pond from Skyward Sword up here that I've made. Ignore that. I don't know why I did that. I thought it would line up and it didn't. But yeah, let's go back down because I want to lay in the bed so mobs don't spawn all around me. There's a handful of ways to get to my base, but the biggest one is looking at my house. Not that. That's a cobblestone / stone factory disguised as a house. Alright, actually this is a good time. I'm going to come back with a second video because this is probably going to be really long.